BYU is a good team. They played a good game, and we can learn a lot from this film. Definitely faced a lot of adversity, but just like every other team in the country, every team faces adversity, and nothing goes exactly as planned. So we got to come together as an offensive unit, and everybody needs to step up and do a little bit more so that we can put some more points on the board and help this team win games in the future. Upcoming, we got Boise, another great team, another good defense that gives a really good effort, has good players. Just like I said, we all got to put in a little bit more effort, find out where we can strengthen our strengths and get better. So we're going to be prepared, and we'll come to play Saturday night.
Obviously, not having Chucky is a big blow, so what do you expect from Craig and the rest of the quarterbacks moving forward?
I feel like Craig, getting these reps in practice, he's gonna be more prepared and more confident. I think not even Craig, I think it's our whole offense, all of the seniors and the leaders. We all need to wrap our arms around Craig and give him that confidence and let him be comfortable out there, because he needs to trust us. Chucky or Joe Hill, they didn't make us a good offense. All of us on the offensive unit, we're all good players, and together we play together, and that's what makes us good. So one player doesn't make the whole team. So we got to let Craig understand that the pressure's not on him; it's on all the coaches and all the players to execute and do their job. So I want Craig to be comfortable out there and just trust all of us that are out there in the field with him.
DJ, can you go through the weekend for you individually? Gary came back, got a chance to spend time with him. I know how close you felt like you were with him and all that, so that was exciting. You played BYU, you had relatives who played at BYU, so that's a big thing for you. You kept passes, and then the Chucky thing and how it all went. Run through how you felt emotionally for the weekend.
It was like a roller coaster. Like you said, Coach A was back in town because they had a bye. It was great to see him, talk to him. We definitely wanted to put on a good show, and we knew we had his support. Going into BYU, of course, I'm a Utah kid. There's a lot of Utah kids on this team. We wanted to get this win, especially since it's my last shot at a Utah team. I wanted to go out on top. And when Chucky went down, I think everybody on the team, everybody in the stands, everybody could feel how we felt. But we didn't do a very good job at picking ourselves back up emotionally. We lost a lot of energy. And so it's something that, like I said, we can learn from. You never know. Every play could be your last play, so we don't know. Next game we can lose somebody else, but we got to learn from this Chucky situation that we got to bring some energy and keep playing on the games to win the game. So.
You had a key guy go down week before. How much different was this situation from that situation to you guys psychologically, and how hard is it to refocus when you see a guy like that go down?
I think it was the same scenario when Wimpy went down last week. Not obviously it was a away game, but as a team we just felt the sadness, and we felt it on the sidelines. But I think that we did a better job last week as picking ourselves up, picking each other up, and continuing to play well. This week it was just another feeling that, like I said, we need to learn from, because we didn't do a very well job. So. I don't want to say it's going to happen again, but if it does, personally, me and all the other leaders, we need to do a better job at getting this team going and continuing to play.
What do you see from Craig in terms of filling that leadership void that Chucky leaves behind?
I honestly, I've loved Craig ever since he got here. I think he does have leadership skills. I think he has confidence. It's just he needs to bring it out. And like I said before, I think it's on us players and the other leaders to let him feel comfortable being a leader. I don't know. Obviously, Chucky was the starter, and everybody looked up to Chucky, so he kind of took the back seat. But I want him to feel comfortable and to let him know that it's okay to put the team on his shoulders and be confident when he's out there and take control. So this week, I hope when he gets these reps in practice and going into the game, I hope he feels comfortable going into the game.
Does the setup of this Boise State team change at all for this team or you personally?
Not at all. If you would have told me beginning of the season we'd be 3-3 going into Boise, I would have laughed at you and I wouldn't consider you an Aggie fan. But but it happens. The thing is what we always talk about. Our goals is to win the Mountain West, and we're 2-0 right now. And we're in a great position to still win the Mountain West. So we're going in there with a great mindset, well prepared, and and we're going to get the job done. We'll be 3-0 Saturday night, and we'll continue on to achieve our goals.
I was going to ask you about tight end. Do you notice the offense this year seems to give the tight end more catches? Is that what the defense is giving this offense, or was that a plan to use it more this year than it was last year? I mean, Kellen caught some passes last year. You did some, but not as many key ones like it seems this year.
I feel like as an offense, we don't have those breakout stars that we've had in the past with all of our NFL talent, but so together we have to do it as an offense, as a unit, whether it's wide receiver, running back, or tight end. I feel like our coaches are doing a good enough job spreading the ball out, making the defense prepare for anything they can prepare for. Joey D getting 30 carries a game, or the outside receivers catching 10 balls a game, and using the tight end. So I think it's the coaching using our personnel well, and just the players making plays. If you keep making plays, the coaches are going to keep giving you the ball. So I think it's a combination of both.
Now, there must have been a play to the tight end that Keegan got against BYU a couple of times. With their pressure outside, down the middle, or something. There must have been something there.
Yeah, oh, definitely. I mean, that's probably a play that BYU didn't have an answer for. We could have kept going back to, and I think it's stuff like that where tight ends can bring that type of play to the game. And that's another thing. Since we showed that on film, Boise has to prepare for that, and it's just something that they have to spend more time on. And teams down the road got a game plan for that as well.
And I'm wondering, in the red zone, you feel a lot more heat now because it looks like the Aggies like to go to the tight end there?
Yeah, I think there's a few games where we went to the tight end and we found success. Some of the teams are keying in on that now, and I wasn't really surprised because it's on film, but that's where we need to just utilize our running backs and get to the edge and come up with different schemes to expose the defenses trying to key in on us.
Have you seen a lot of tape on them?
On Boise State?
They do it a lot of times.
Yeah, Boise State, like I said, they play with great effort. They're a good defense. We're not going to overlook them at all. As an offense, we don't really need to worry about them or who they have on their defense. We need to worry about ourselves, because if we execute and we use them and we do the things that we do, we're tough and run the ball physically, then we'll be able to win the game, put up some points and win.
You talked about you didn't expect to be 3-3, but when you came to the program, it was obviously a very different situation. I mean, does it make you think about how far the program has come in a sense that you even got here, how the expectations have changed?
Definitely. When we first got here, my first season, I think we were 4-8. A lot of people were like, felt like we were doing a lot better. Obviously, now we're 3-3, and it's very disappointing, and something that we've kind of changed in this program, that we expect to win every single game. We expect to fight to the end and not have any big-time losses. So it's something that, like I said, we are 3-3, but we have all the goals in front of us, so we can still have a great season. It's our job to focus in on this game and get the ball back rolling and get some momentum.
Other questions for DJ? Okay.
Thanks, DJ.
All right, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Okay, we have senior defensive end Connor Williams, who had a career high 6 tackles in his last game. Connor will go ahead and review the BYU game, preview Boise State, and we'll take questions.
BYU game, obviously a huge disappointment. You always look forward to those in-state games. And throughout my career here, they've always been really, really hard-fought battles, close. And, it seems that not a lot went all that well for us that night. But we're going to bounce back, correct our mistakes, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the season.
Boise State up ahead. What do you see out of this offense?
As DJ said, they're a big-time effort team. The offense as a whole, a lot of technicians. They have a good running back. Very committed guys, hard workers. So they're a lot like us. So it's going to be a hard-fought battle.
Tell us how you felt finally playing.
Oh, it was bittersweet. I was really happy to be suited up. I was going through the warm-up. I was really excited, and we got to one-on-one pass rush, and it's only a few steps. You chop hands, get around the corner, or whatever, and then my tendon just totally popped. I was like, oh man, this isn't good. But got it taped up, and I was like, I can't miss this game, so just played through the whole game. It was really exciting to be out there. I had a lot of energy, a lot of pent up aggression to get out, and yeah, I was happy to be out there against BYU. But definitely a bittersweet night given the result.
You talk about the thing snapping. It's kind of, is it like that plantar fasciitis thing? If it snaps, it might be actually better off than bothering you or something.
Yeah, they said it's like a cousin of that injury. So initially it didn't feel too good. But the doctor explained to me, that's actually a good thing now that it's snapped, and it might even continue to keep popping or whatever, but it'll get better every time. So I'm pumped.
So it's not going to stop you anymore?
No. I'm playing throughout the rest of the season here, no doubt.
I mean, when you see all the injuries that seem to be piling up all of a sudden, I mean, does it motivate the guys who are kind of banged up like you are, or is it is it just kind of something that hangs over you guys a little bit?
The amount of injuries motivate us. We have a lot of real close teammates. Kyle, Chucky, Joe, all gone down with season-ending injuries, and those guys are leaders, hard workers. So a lot of us will pick up the slack. We'll play harder for them, and hopefully we'll honor them in the way we play in the result of this season.
There must have been frustration defensively because of the key was to stop the run against BYU, and with the exception of a 44-yard run and the 20-yard quarterback run, they're way under 100 yards with the rest of their runs all night. What ended up happening defensively, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we did a good job shutting down their run game. They got a couple of lucky breaks, but for the most part, we did a good job shutting that down. But we didn't expect him to throw all that much, and he ended up throwing pretty well. So.
Do you then, as a pass rusher, when they do throw, do you say, hey, that's part of my fault because I didn't put enough pressure on the quarterback to make him get off to throw those long balls? Or
definitely. We always talk about it. Defense. It's a big puzzle, and every person is a piece of that puzzle. And it might be a big play, and you look at it, and the average fan would say, "Oh, it's the DB's fault." But realistically, maybe the D line could have got there better. Maybe the linebacker who's blitzing could have got there sooner. There's breakdowns, so it's a team failure, defensive failure. So.
It sounds like this offensive line of Boise State is supposed to be a pretty good group. Do you feel that way? I mean, they've been together for a while, I think.
Yeah, they're a real solid group up front. Like I said, they're technicians. They're very, very hard workers. So it sounds a lot like our D-line up front. So I'm looking forward to the battle on Saturday.
What do you see from Joe Southwick, their quarterback, and other key offensive players?
They got a real solid running back. Their quarterback, he's a good leader. He does a good job with that offense, directing everything. So it's going to be fun playing against them for sure.
How many snaps did you want to take in Friday night?
I had 27 snaps, which is pretty regular given our defensive line and how we substitute constantly and we rotate so much. So it was a pretty regular night. I was told that I might not get all that many snaps, but that was pretty regular.
Do you see now with sort of the injuries to the offenses, the margin for error for the defense being a little slimmer and things like that?
Well, yeah, obviously, when you have key players go down and stuff like that, the rest of the team's got to pick up the slack. So, defensively, we're going to have to be even more sound. Offensively, same thing, and special teams as well. So, I don't doubt our crew. I don't doubt the team. I think we'll be able to pull it off.
Anything else for Connor?
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Just in recapping BYU a little bit, it was not the outcome that any of us wanted or expected, but as you go back and you look at it and you dissect it, there was a lot of good stuff. First and foremost, we have a bunch of kids that are tough. They didn't quit. They played down to the wire, and I'm really proud of them for that. When things didn't look so good, I guess, as the third quarter went on and even into the beginning of the fourth quarter. But and that's the hard thing as a coach. As you address your players and you talk to those guys, because there was a lot of good and even some outcomes in the game, stat-wise and production-wise, that if you looked at it before the game, I would say we're right in it. It's down to the wire, or that's what we have to do to win. Okay, the three that come to mind are running the football, and I thought our O-line and our running backs, the tight ends, those guys, I thought they came off the football and they ran the ball very well, over 5 yards a carry in average, and that's usually pretty good for us. The second thing, as we talked about last Monday, was containing the QB run, which they did extremely well. I think there was one that squirted loose and got out, but against a really great dual threat quarterback and a really good player in Taysom, I thought they shut down the run game pretty good. They averaged just over 3 yards a carry. And then the third thing was, I came in here and said it, is when we get in the red zone, we have to score touchdowns, and we did. We just didn't get down there enough. We're 2 for 2 with 14 points. So those are always keys to winning games. Bottom line is we had 3 turnovers. One obviously resulted in points for them. The other 2 were great stops by our defense. Again, you look at the other 2 turnovers. Midfield roughly, one on our side, and defense bowed up to the occasion on both of those. You can't be an elite defense and give up uncontested throws. That's the bottom line. Did we play good enough on defense? No, not when you consider all that. Did we play really good in a lot of areas of defense? Yeah, red zone defense, again, showed up and played well. And against the run, I thought they played really good against the run. But you can't have breakdowns in the back end, and those are layups. They're straight running layups. It's an uncontested breakaway layup, and one was a slam dunk. So there's your basketball analogy for the day. And then, offensively, you get behind, you got to throw the ball, and I thought that was sporadic. And it was good at times, and it was ugly at times. So things to clean up there, I thought our coverage teams in the kickoff and punt unit did a nice job. I made a big emphasis on that last week. So that's a little bit of, as we go there, and we go ahead to Boise and look ahead, and then I know I'll open this up for questions. Boise is a really, first of all, well-coached team, schematically, effort-wise, fundamentally. A lot of respect for Coach Peterson and that staff. Known him for a long time, watched him, competed against him for an awful long time. Tremendous amount of respect. I said that the minute we got into the Mountain West, that to me they're the program that we all want to model ourselves after from a consistency standpoint, from an effort standpoint, and a toughness standpoint. I think they do a great job. They're very sound on defense. Their defensive front, I think, is typical Boise. I mean, they are blue-collar players and tough, hard-nosed, and two-gap a lot up front, and they do a nice job in their pressure packages, which I would expect to heat up this week. So be something that we're ready for. Offensively, I think Joe Southwick is getting in his groove. I'm sure they got a lot of mojo, and they're I think, fitting their scheme around his talents, which I think good offensive coaches do, and they've done a nice job. They're both backs are downhill, physical running backs. I like them both, and they do a nice job. So big challenge. It'll be good to have them in Logan, and our kids will rally. This is a time where you're facing a little bit of adversity with some season-ending injuries. The one you just talked to, we got one back. Connor Williams was a big shark for our defense. So we're going to have to rally around some new guys. It's going to be next man up. There's some guys around them we're going to have to play just a little bit better. We're going to have to have some guys fill in some different leadership roles. And we're going to have to play elite defense, be sound and aggressive in the special teams, and we're going to have to play good on offense and not lose the football. We've got to take care of the football. and build around whoever the new quarterback is. So start firing away.
Is the new quarterback Craig Harrison?
It'll be Craig and Daryl. We'll look at them both this week. You'll know on game day. So that'll be about the last time I answer that. So those two guys are going to work together. We're going to see who settles in the best. And whoever it is, that's who we're going to go with. I think Craig will get better with extended reps. Daryl hasn't taken many reps since training camp, but he had an awful lot towards the end of training camp. And we'll see where those guys are. We'll see who plays well around them and how they handle the situation this week.
That was my question, was going to be, does Garrison have enough reps at this point to catch up?
Yes.
Or he doesn't?
And this week you split the reps.
Just split the reps today, and then we'll see from here on out.
So you're going to go 50-50 today and then make the call on a daily basis?
We'll go 50-50 today, and then I'm going to work it in closed practices the rest of the week, and you'll know who the starter is on Saturday night. That's it. I mean, I can't tell you more than that. We're going to put a game plan around them, and we're going to go, and we're going to get as good as we can at it, and our players are going to rally around those two kids, and I don't have a perfect answer for you right now, and so you're going to have to accept that today.
What's the biggest difference between the two quarterbacks?
One's a freshman, one's a junior.
Just talking to Daryl about.
Sorry, Bob. I mean, until they play a lot, until they play on game day, I can't give you. I'll give you a really good educated answer in 2 weeks.
Just talking to Daryl about possibly having an increased role remind you of kind of having those conversations with Chucky when he was a freshman.
Different situation. I'm sure the conversations, Kyle, may be similar in content, but a completely different situation. Yeah, fair question, good question, but they're going to be it's totally different.
As you evaluated what Harrison did the other night, did he do better in some ways than you thought he would do?
About the same. I think he did some good stuff, and I think he wishes he had some things back. So,
being around the game a long time, have you been part of a team where 3 offensive starters lost for the season? Talk about how the team will bounce back.
Well, let me answer both those for you. I can't remember one, so I'm not going to make one. No, not really. 3 starters, especially at quarterback and tailback, and then no lineman. So I don't think so. So that's a unique one. And I think our team will rally just fine. I think we have a bunch of tough-minded kids. I think they're individually motivated. I think they're externally motivated by where they are in those standings. As you look at them right there, they're at the top of it. They know they're 2-0 in the Mountain West. They know every goal is still out there for them. And they know there's only one thing on their mind, is that's rally around a new tailback, a new quarterback, a new guard, all those things, and try to find a way to win Saturday night.
What is the prognosis for Joe Hill's recovery? What's going on with him? And what's he looking at?
He had surgery on Friday, so it was an ACL, and so he's out for the year.
So, Cini, you're saying the offensive line did some things in the running game. Cini must have played pretty well.
I thought Cini played really well at times, yeah. And I thought Kevin and Tyler played better around him. So that was a unit that you're happy with. See the way that they rallied around him and all the extra time they spent with him. At night after practice they switched off, and on Friday and even Saturday morning or Friday morning, Thursday night, Friday morning, and I thought Cini came out and played well, and he was calm and he was focused, and so was the rest of those guys. And that's a unit, and I thought as a unit they played well.
And DiMartino, obviously, you can tell he's laboring a little with his ankle and stuff, but he still continues to run decent. Behind him, you still Marshall, more of Kelvin Lee and Kennedy.
Yeah, a little bit of running back by committee.
You mentioned Connor a little bit. What did you see from him in his first game back, and how nice was it to have his energy back on the field?
Energy, leadership, production. That's what you get with that kid. What you see is what you get. He wears his emotions on his sleeve. He has been awesome the last 5 weeks as an assistant coach. you know, as a leader in the way that he's acted, and I think the D linemen have responded. I think that, you know, he's gained respect from his other teammates to see his involvement, and you know, he's got a no quit attitude. I love that kid.
We asked DJ a little bit his thoughts on having Gary back. What did it mean to you as a friend and former?
Oh yeah, it was good to see him. It's always good to see Coach and what he's done for me personally, what he's done for me professionally. You know, I won't ever replace it, and I'll never forget it. I owe him a lot, so he's done a lot for this program. You know, it was good to have him back, and you know, he recruited a lot of these kids, and they're his boys, and one of them literally. You know, so I think it's cool. I mean, I put myself in that position. If Wyatt's ever fortunate to play and you're still coaching college, you don't get to see your kids play. So it's a pretty cool deal for him. You know, and then Keegan played well. You know, Keegan had a good game, so he kind of showed out for his dad, so that was good.
I know you're saying everyone needs to step up. Do you see any particular individuals on offense kind of maybe filling that leadership void left by Chucky and taking more of an active role in being vocal leaders?
Not really yet through the weekend, so that'll remain to be determined a little bit during practice, and I think as we get through game week. But we've got other leaders on offense. We've got leaders in the O-line room. Those guys do that every day. DJ Tialavea is the vocal leader. He's an emotional leader. Both Travis is in the receiver room. We've got other guys that have done it. And Chucky's just a part of that leadership. Chucky was not the only leader on that offense.
Boise State's defense, the Lawrence guy, the defensive end, big-time playmaker guy, they have some other guys. They look like they're playing quite a few younger guys defensively, too.
Yeah,
they got a couple safeties that have played a little bit and stuff. But
they've got some young guys mixing in there and some veterans. They're very schematically sound. It doesn't matter if they're playing younger guys or a freshman corner. You know, those guys are in the right place at the right time, and they're playing good football.
Nick Vigil makes his first start. You know, what kind of made you guys decide he was ready to be in the lineup?
Well, I think it's different personnel packages and some ways to get him on the field. You can move Kyler around to B or the F, and Nick can play the B or the either inside linebacker and spell his brother or Jake if they need a blow for a second. And so there's already a rotational basis, but I think Nick has merited increased reps by his production, and he played well again in a little bit more of an increased role. He played well Friday night.
Brian Sweet is injured. How's he doing? Is he day-to-day?
Yeah, he's day-to-day.
He's really... What do you identify as maybe something, maybe the source of some of the breakdowns on Friday night against BYU and what the secondary needs to work on?
Oh, secondary related?
Yeah.
Some of it technique and some of it communication, and some of it, you know, you got to be in the right place at the right time, understand what the call is and what your responsibility is, and you can't get lax doing it. And when you get lax doing it, and all of a sudden they've got a route right into your either zone or your man or whatever, good teams make you pay for it. They made us pay. They had the right call at the right time. They executed. They threw it and they caught it, and it looked really bad. If it happens on a run, nobody knows it. You know, we see it, but nobody else knows it. They were both very untimely, because I thought besides that, and maybe a few critical third downs that we didn't get off the field, I thought our defense played really good.
That bye coming up in a couple of weeks, does that just seem just so far away with these two better games ahead?
2 weeks away. No, or yeah.
I mean, but just the injuries and stuff. I mean, do you kind of wish it to be a little sooner?
Kyle, I hadn't spent 1 minute thinking about that. I mean, valid question you asked there, but hadn't thought about it. I mean, you got the schedule, you know what it is in May or April when we talked about it after that one spring scrimmage and it came out, and you just deal with it. When we rock and roll, and we didn't know we were going to have injuries. If we were all healthy, we wouldn't even be talking about bye week right now. So the bye week's not going to cure the 3 kids that are out for the year. So those guys are out, whether we have 3 byes or no byes. You know, those guys are out through to end of spring or whatever.
Coach, you were the quarterback coach with Chucky. Everybody said going in, he was the one guy we could least afford to lose for this football team. What is it? Do those things run through your mind when people say those kinds of things, or what?
No, because it's media or it's outside people that put one kid on a pedestal. Chucky Keaton's not Chucky Keaton without Tyler Larson, without Eric Schultz. Eric Schultz played every snap Chucky's ever played. So has Tyler. Kevin's played quite a bit. Jamie's played quite a bit. DJ's been there every minute since the Auburn game with Chucky. So has Travis Reynolds. So Chucky is Chucky because guys around him have played well. I also think Chucky has elevated their game, and I think they have played well around him. Those kids are a bunch of individuals that collectively we've played well as an offense because individually they've played well, and has number 16. He has played very, very well too. But to say that because he was the only leader, like the question I got earlier, no way. We got other guys that lead. He's one of them. He's a great leader. I mean, it hurts to lose a great leader, a great teammate. He's a great teammate. You got to see the way he acts in the locker room and the way he acts in the summer and all that kind of stuff, man. You don't replace that. Other guys have to fill in. They have to fill in the different roles. They have to fill in. There's got to be a quarterback that has to fill in from a production standpoint, and there's got to be other guys that fill in that gap a little bit, leaders. But I don't have other leaders that have to learn how to be leaders. Not one bit. Those guys will keep doing what they're doing. I hate it for Chucky. I hate it bad for him. And it's very unfortunate. Chucky will bounce back, and he'll grind, and him and Joe Hill they'll battle every day, and they'll push each other. And I told Joe Hill the other day, I said, I feel sorry for you, bro. And he's like, why is that? And I said, because the wrong guy just got hurt right next to you. And I said, he'll drill you for the next 10. He's going to drill you, and the kid won't give up. So he'll come back stronger than ever. I'm sure there's going to be a silver lining in it somehow. There's not today. There's a silver lining in it for him. Mentally, probably, he'll become he'll see the game from a different perspective. So hopefully all that helps the kid next year.
I know you have deep personal relationships with all the kids who've gotten injured. Do you find it's sort of hard to, in one sense, feel bad for these kids and hate those injuries for the kids, but also have to be looking forward and saying, what's the next thing? We've got to move on. We've got to get the team ready.
Right, but you're not insensitive to those kids, so honestly, it's kind of rather easy. It's just, it's real life. You're very sensitive to those three individuals that have lost their season, and before that was Bryce Walker, that have lost their season because of an injury. And yet you have a job to do is to rally the team around and guide the team, and we'll all do that as a staff. We'll do that as leaders of the program, and so between the seniors and the staff, that's our job. And so we have to move forward, and those guys are moving forward with us in a different role, so.
Anything else for Coach Willis? Okay.